Welcome to Learners Academy. Today I'm taking distinguish between from chapter 6 of Science 2 Animal Classification and in the quick revision series, and I'll be giving you the best notes, and if you go by these notes I can guarantee you that you can get above 95% in your board exam. Stay focused throughout the session and let's get started now. The difference between chordates and non-chordates. The basic difference is that in case of chordate, body is supported by notochord, and in case of non-chordate, body is not supported by a notochord. Now what you will be wondering, what is a notochord? Notochord is a long rod-like supporting structure present on the dorsal side of the animal body, and it keeps the nerve tissue isolated from the remaining body. Now what is the dorsal side of the body and what is the ventral side of the body? That will be a question that I need to answer. See, this is for example, this is a body. The upper portion of a body is called the dorsal side, whereas the lower portion of the body, which is more towards the earth, is called a ventral side. The second point of difference is pharyngeal gill slits are present in the developmental stage in case of chordates, whereas pharyngeal gill slits are absent in case of non-chordates, totally absent. All right. Now, as I told you, nerve cord is present dorsally, that is on the upper side of the body, which is not towards the earth. Now, nerve cord is present ventrally in case of a chordate. All right. Now, nerve cord is single and it is hollow in case of chordate, whereas in case of non-chordate, the nerve cord is paired and is solid. Heart is present on the ventral side of the chordates, whereas heart is present on the dorsal side of the body of non-chordates. Now, chordates are more evolved animals and they are on the higher levels of evolutions, whereas non-chordates are less evolved animal and they are on the lower levels of evolution. Let us understand what is the difference between a urochordata and a cephalochordata. And for that, again, you need to know what is a notochord. Notochord, as I told you, is a very long rod-like supporting structure which is present on the dorsal side of the body, and it actually isolates the nerve tissue from the remaining body. So, urochordata have notochord in the tail region of an adult body, whereas in case of cephalochordata, they have notochord in the entire length of the body. Not in the tail, in the entire length of the body. In case of urochordata, these animals look like small sacs, alright, whereas cephalochordata animal, they look like small fish. Urochordata are usually hermaphrodite, that means in one body they both have both the sexes, alright, and still they need two individual to fertilize each other, but they are both the sex are present in the same body. In case of cephalochordata, they are unisexual, that means they have different body for different sex. Male is present in a different body and female is a different body. Now in case of urochordata, body of urochordata is covered over by skin like test or a tunic like structure, whereas cephalochordata, there is no tunic or something, which is body is not covered in a test or a tunic. Now example of urochordata is herdmania, Doliolum, Oikopleura, and whereas example of cephalochordata is Amphioxus. All right, so I'm showing you the pictures also so that you can relate to them. Let us understand what is the difference between phylum Platyhelminthes and phylum Aschelminthes. The worms which have slender flat leaf or a strip-shaped body, they are called flatworms and they come under the phylum Platyhelminthes. And the worms which are long, thread-like or cylindrical, they are, Aschelminthes worm. They are also called roundworms. Now, Platyhelminthes are triploblastic, and phylum, in case of Aschelminthes, they are also triploblastic. But what is the difference? Platyhelminthes are eucoelomate, acoelomate. That means uh, body cavity is absent, whereas phylum Aschelminthes, they are eudocoelomate. That means they have a false body cavity. But you don't have to, remember this point this year. You know why? There is a good news. The body cavity and germ layers, this portion of your text has been taken out, and for this year you will not be asked any question. But in case you have to give the difference, you can give that they are both triploblastic. And what is the meaning of triploblastic or diblastic, diploblastic? They are basically germ layers. All right, there are different germ layers present in the body, and if they have three germs layer, they are called triploblastic. If they are double, they are triploblastic. All right, now the third point which is there, most of them are hermaphrodite or bisexual, having both male and female reproductive system in the same body. Now, in case of phylum Aschelminthes, they are unisexual with male and female sexes separate. Example, uh, in case of phylum Platyhelminthes, we can have planaria, liver fluke, tapeworm. In case of phylum Aschelminthes, we have Ascaris, that is intestinal worm, filarial worm, loa loa, which is eye worm. All right. The difference between cyclostomata and Pisces. Oh, this is a very important difference. Cyclostomata, they are poorly evolved class of vertebrate animal, whereas Pisces are better evolved class of vertebrate which is well adapted for aquatic living, that is in water. All right, cyclostomata have a circular jaw, mouth with suckers, whereas Pisces have mouth with upper and lower jaws, and teeth are also present in the mouth. In case of cyclostomata, paired appendages are absent. All right. Now, paired and unpaired fins are present in all kinds of fishes. Cyclostomata have soft skin which is without any scale, whereas fishes have different type of scales on the body. You must have observed that. Now, endoskeleton in case of cyclostomata is cartilaginous, whereas endoskeleton may be cartilaginous or it may be bony. All right. Now, example of cyclostomata are Petromyzon, Myxine, whereas example of Pisces, there are plenty of example. For example, I'll tell you shark, which is cartilaginous, and pomfret, mackerel, sardines, rohu. These are all bony fishes. All right. So what is the difference between amphibians and reptilians? Okay, amphibian, they live both on land and water, whereas reptilians are terrestrial animals, though turtle and sea snakes can stay in water, but they cannot breathe in water. All right. Now, exoskeleton is absent in case of amphibian. The skin is very soft, slimy and moist. Now, in case of reptilian, the exoskeleton in the form of scales is present. Some animals have plates or scutes. Example is tortoise and crocodile. Now, body is divided into head, trunk and neck is absent. Please remember, neck is absent in case of amphibians. Have you seen a neck in case of frogs or toads? No, it's not there. Now, body is divided into head, neck and trunk in case of reptilians. Now, the digits do not have claws, whereas reptilians digit, they have claws. Now, the respiration in amphibian is by skin when in water and by lungs when they are on the land, and the larvae, they breathe by gills. In case of reptilian, the respiration is only by lungs. All right, it's only by lungs. In case of amphibian, there is an external fertilization at the time of sexual reproduction, in case of reptilians, there is an internal fertilization at the time of sexual reproduction. Important point, alright? The next point is the developmental stages are eggs and tadpole, and metamorphosis is seen in amphibian. In case of reptilian, the developmental stages are eggs and juvenile, and metamorphosis is not seen in reptiles. Example, in case of amphibian, frog and toad and salamander. Example in case of reptilian are tortoise, lizard and snake. The difference between aves and mammalia. Now, aves are birds and mammals are all the animals, most of the animals, alright? Now, aves are totally adapted for aerial mode of life. That means they can fly. Mammals are adapted for terrestrial life. That means they can live very well on the land. Body is spindle shaped and is divisible into head, neck and trunk. In case of aves, there are two pairs of limbs. Forelimbs are modified to form the wings for flight. Alright, the birds, they have wings, they are actually their forelimbs. Alright, now in case of mammalia, body is not spindle shaped, it is not divisible into head, neck and trunk, but it is divisible into head, neck, trunk and tail. And there are two pairs of limb and they are adapted for walking and running on the ground. In case of human beings, they walk on legs only, on hind limbs. All right, their forelimbs are modified into hands. They are used for other activities. Now in case of aves, digits, they have got scales, whereas in case of mammals, digits have nails, hoofs. In case of horses, and in some cases they have claws. All right, in case of aves, the next point is the exoskeleton is in the form of feathers. All right. Now, in case of mammals, the exoskeleton is either in the form of fur, hair, or wool. All right. Now, in case of aves, jaws are modified into beak. So you must have seen all the birds, they have got beak. They are basically their jaws. Now, in case of mammals, jaw have teeth and they surround the mouth. All right. Now birds are oviparous, that is they lay egg and the egg hatches into nestling. Mammals are viviparous, they give birth to young ones. Exceptions are always there and there is an exception, platypus, that lays egg. Alright, alright, and it's a connecting link also, remember? Now in case of aves, the incubation of eggs and feeding of nestling is done by both the parents. Whereas in case of mammals, mother mostly takes care of the babies and feed them with milk because they have got the mammary gland. Now, many examples of birds, crow and penguin. Now, penguin, why I have written penguin? Because penguin it looks like as if it is a fish, but it is not. Okay, it's a bird. All right. Now, example for mammals is dogs, cats. There are many examples: elephant, lion, tiger. That's all. Now the difference can also be asked in this form rather than phylums or class. So here they can give you two animals. Now you have to identify to which class do they belong. So accordingly you will write all the points of differences between them. Now in case of frog and tortoise, frog belongs to class Amphibia. First point of difference, whereas tortoise, it belongs to class Reptilia. Now, second point, digits are without claws, whereas in case of tortoise, digits have got claws. Now, in case of frog, skin is moist and without scales, right? In case of tortoise, skin is dry, it's not moist and it has got scales. In case of frog, neck is absent, whereas in case of tortoise, neck is present between head and trunk. All right? Let us see what is the difference between a butterfly and a bat. Both of them, they fly, but they belong to different phylum. All right. Now, butterfly belongs to phylum Arthropoda, whereas bat belongs to phylum Chordata. Now it is included, butterfly is included in the class Insecta of phylum Arthropoda, whereas bat is included in the class Mammalia of subphylum Vertebrata. Alright, now butterfly has jointed appendages. It is a characteristic feature of arthropods. Remember, jointed legs. Alright, now it has got 3 pairs of legs. On the other hand, bat does not have jointed appendages, it has 1 pair of leg only. Butterfly has 4 wings for flying, whereas bat has patagium that function as a wing. Alright, bat is basically a mammal. Alright, and its 4 limbs are modified into patagium and they are used for flying. Alright, now in case of butterfly, but body is divisible into head, thorax and abdomen, whereas body in case of bat is divisible into head, neck, trunk and tail. Alright, head, neck, trunk and tail. Now in case of butterfly, exoskeleton is chitinous because it is an arthropod, it's an insect. Now exoskeleton is in the form of hair in case of bat because it belongs to mammals. Alright, now butterfly is diurnal, that means it is active during daytime, whereas bat is nocturnal, it is active during night time. Now butterfly lays egg which hatches into larva and larva develops into pupa and pupa metamorphoses into an adult. Whereas bat is viviparous. It gives big birth to young ones and young ones are fed by the mothers by mammary glands. I hope you enjoyed watching the video and learned how to answer distinguished questions and how to distinguish between two phenomena. If you want to see more of such videos, you can subscribe to my channel, press the bell icon and take a look at the Learners Academy page. Keep sharing it with your friends and thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.